Hi, this is Resident of Collinwood. Um, Joel T. Saints here. Usually when I give my real name, I talk about a serious matter, and I'm going to do that here now. It's being kicked around on Twitter that some writers of horror websites don't get paid. I don't know the age, discrepancy, what it is, like how young or old these writers are that haven't been paid or aren't getting paid. But let me say something to anybody who writes for a horror website. And look, I share bloody disgusting stuff on Facebook and shit. That's just me as a fan sharing their stuff, the news they're getting. Okay, I don't write for them. I don't work for them. I don't work for a horror website. And let me tell you something. If any horror website wants you to write for them, or you reach out to any horror website and you're wanting to write for them, meaning if you're reaching out to them, I want you to remember a couple things before you go doing this, or even if you have done this. Number one, did they put you under contract? Because if they did, then not only are you obligated to do the work, they're obligated to pay you. If they did not put you under any contract, meaning, basically you're just working them from a verbal standpoint, and you gave them a verbal, yeah, I'm working for you. You are then not obligated to write the article unless they're paying you. Do not hand them in an article and then let's say you wrote five, for example, let's say you wrote five articles within a month. I'm just freestyling. I don't know if anybody writes that many articles. I'm just saying. If you did this and you're handing it to whoever your boss, whoever is the head of the horror website, will say, and they have not paid you for the previous four, well, my question to you is, then why are you handing in a fifth? And if you do hand in that fifth article and then you ask for a pay, and they tell you, well, you're not under contract here. Well, all that means is what that means is a couple things. Number one, you do not, or you did not have to hand in any article to them. You do not even have to write for them. Just like they're not obligated to pay you because you didn't sign a contract, you're not obligated to work for them. Number two, the one thing I want you to remember most of all is, I understand you want in the horror industry and you want to be part of the horror community. There's other ways to go about doing that. If you want to be part of the horror community, what's your knowledge of the horror community? What's your knowledge of the horror movies or the genre itself? Everybody has a history with the horror genre, and I'm not meaning just from the film and the writing and the production standpoint. We all start off as fans. I'm a fan. Look, I freelance write. I write for myself. Okay? Know this. You all have a knowledge of the horror industry. If you have a knowledge of that horror, of what you've watched, you all have a perspective. Some write about it, some don't. Some have YouTube channels, some don't. If you can get a YouTube channel, do that. Because it's like this, if you're going to continue to write for a horror website and then you're not getting paid for it, that's a problem. Remember this, when you write for somebody, whether it be an article or anything else, as a writer, you are performing a service. You have the talent to write. So when you take your talent and you're using it for someone else's website, even though it's your article, even though it's you researching it, you busting your ass, you taking the time to research the shit out of it and then writing in the article, or if you have breaking news and you break the news from a writer's standpoint on a horror website, it's you who did the work. So instead of getting worked by the horror websites and not paid for your work, because if you're not getting paid for your work, you are getting worked. You're getting played, basically. To lay it out for you here today on this channel, you're getting played. And to the horror websites who are not paying their writers and have a problem with what I'm saying, go fuck yourself. Because it's like this. You know what you're doing. You know damn well what you're doing when you have young writers out there who are horror fans. And I can imagine being 16, 17 again and being a horror fan in this day and age, being young again and going, oh my God, I want to write for a horror website. Oh my God, it'd be so much fun. And that's what it starts off as. It would start off pretty innocently. And that's the problem. You are probably most likely having horror websites take advantage of young horror fans who just want to write horror and write articles about horror, who genuinely do it for the love of horror. And then they turn around and they've wrote all these articles and they go, and maybe it's them, maybe it's someone they know, maybe it's a family member, and they're going, okay, you wrote all of those articles for that site. Did you get paid for it? And they stop and think, and it's no, no. And let me tell you something. That is the horror website using your fandom against you. Do not let your fandom be used against you. Do not be a sucker to the horror websites. Yes, I get it. I was 16, 17 once upon a time. I'm fucking old now. But don't be a sucker. And trust me, it's hard. I'm a fan of horrors myself. But know this. When you write something for someone, what's at the other end of it? Are you getting paid for that writing service? Are you getting paid to do that research? Because if you're not, that's a fucking problem. I'm sorry for the profanity, but I'm here to talk to you as an adult. I'm here to speak to you and go, look, I get it. I get there are some who do it for the pure love of horror. I get it. There are people who do it to get their foot in the door of the horror franchise, of the horror community. And that's all well and good to an extent, but it's not good that you're not getting paid for it. It's not good that you're being taken advantage of. And know that you are and can be taken advantage of. That's all I'm going to say about that. Hope you guys enjoy this. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and guys, just a bit of advice. Watch your asses. Don't get taken advantage of.